So like clockwork, another iPhone is right around the corner. And of course, you're not going to want to spend your money on the wrong model, right? Keep watching because there's a lot to choose from this year and you do not want to make a mistake. We're going to be taking a look at all the new models. Obviously, there are new colors, storage configurations, brand new features, if any, cameras, prices, release dates, and we'll be addressing some very interesting rumors about the new iPhone, specifically connected to connecting. Anyway, let's get right into it. The iPhone 14 lineup is still going to comprise of 4 devices like we expected. However, there's been a bit of a change. Yeah, the little guy didn't make it. I guess that goes to show that size does matter. The iPhone 14 mini will be replaced by the iPhone 14 Max, and that goes to show that if you're small but you have a big character, it's still not enough to satisfy the people, as they still want those extra inches.
That's what she said.
This year, the gap between the standard and Pro models will be widened quite a bit more, but the choice for customers should be easier as clearer lines will be drawn between each model. These lines are not just aesthetic, but they will be with regards to function as well. The Pro models will once again get a bevy of new features which will not make their way to the non-Pro models. Features such as the new display hardware. Yeah, you heard me right. There's going to be new display hardware on the iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max. But hold on just a minute, because it's not under display selfie cameras like we were anticipating, but it's the next best thing. The iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max are slated to abandon Apple's infamous notch and will instead adopt a hole punch style design that's been very popular on many Android phones. Apple is stated to be working on a design that will incorporate both a pill-shaped cutout and a circular cutout in the display. The circular cutout will likely house the front camera, and the pill-shaped cutout will include the Face ID dot projector, Face ID infrared camera, and possibly other components. It's not a perfect solution, but it's definitely a welcome change. The notch remains on the iPhone 14 and iPhone 14 Max, but we don't know if it's going to be the smaller notch we got on the iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max, or the same sized notch we've had since the iPhone 10. We all know Apple doesn't change the design of the iPhone very often, and that seems to remain the case here, as the iPhone 14 series is expected to come with the flat sides introduced with the iPhone 12 series. And with regards to the aesthetics of the device, this year's iPhones will be bold and brightly colored, as the iPhone 14 and 14 Max are rumored to be available in black, white, blue, red, and purple, while the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max will allegedly come in graphite, gold, silver, and purple. According to MacRumors.com, both the iPhone 14 and iPhone 14 Pro models will be available in a purple shade that has a unique finish that shifts based on light conditions. Sounds like Apple is trying its hand at a gradient finish. And, where have I seen that before? But, since it's Apple, we have to expect the best iteration of a gradient finish since sliced bread or something. And it's well known that the iPhones have come with stainless steel sides on the Pro models for a couple of years now, but it seems like Apple is experimenting with making a titanium alloy chassis for the iPhone 14 series. Personally, I think it's a little unlikely to debut with the upcoming iPhones, however, as titanium is quite difficult to work with and attracts fingerprint smudges easily. But to be fair though, a titanium iPhone does sound really cool. Let me know in the comment section if you would cop one if Apple eventually made a titanium iPhone. And if you've been enjoying the video this far, then a sub to the channel would be appetizing. With regards to display size, the iPhone 14 comes in at 6.1 inches alongside the 14 Pro. And at 6.7 inches, we have the 14 Max and 14 Pro Max. With the iPhone 14, LG is said to be making LTPO OLED displays capable of 120Hz to supply the entire iPhone line. So it's definitely possible that the entire iPhone 14 lineup will have 120Hz ProMotion technology, which is awesome. And another upgrade I'm sure a lot of people will be happy to see is the increase of the base level of RAM from 4GB to 6GB across all models of the iPhone. It also seems Apple is transitioning to an eSIM only design, as the iPhone 14 models may launch without a physical SIM slot. Apple is allegedly advising major US carriers to prepare for the launch of eSIM-only smartphones by 2022, which suggests some iPhone 14 models may be the first to come out without a SIM slot. I guess this is another opportunity for Apple to come in and save the world by taking out the SIM card removal tool from the box. But what do I know? On to performance. The iPhone 14 Pro models will get a new and faster A16 Bionic chip, However, the standard iPhone 14 models will continue to use the same A15 Bionic that's on the iPhone 13 models. This will be one of the most significant and important differentiations between the Pro and the non-Pro iPhones in 2022. Battery life, on the other hand, seems to have gotten some changes on the iPhone 14 series, with the iPhone 14 Pro coming with a 3200 mAh battery, which is up from 3095 mAh in the iPhone 13 Pro, and the iPhone 14 Pro Max will have a 4323 mAh battery, which is actually down very slightly from the 4352 mAh in the iPhone 13 Pro Max. And as for storage configurations, we're expecting 128 gigabytes of base storage, but there are some rumors going around that Apple might increase this to 256 gigs at the base level, which would actually be amazing because a lot of people are starting to do more photography and videography on their iPhones, and they can't really afford more than the base level, so this would be a welcome change. Last year, Apple introduced the 1 terabyte storage tier, and it seems like they're going to increase that this year to 2 terabytes, which is awesome for iPhone content creators, but not so great for your wallet, as this is sure to be very, very pricey. And speaking of pricey, let's take a look at the price list of the upcoming iPhone 14 series. Given Apple's previous pricing strategies, the iPhone 14 will likely be priced very similar to the iPhone 13. However, with no mini in the lineup, the starting price would be $799. The iPhone 14 Max would occupy a new middle price tier at $899, just under the Pro price of $999. Pricing of the starting lineup of the iPhone 14 series is going to range from roughly $800 to about $1,100 in price, depending on the model and the size. And now for the part a lot of you have been waiting for, the new camera specs. Apple is rumored to be considering a 48 megapixel sensor for the standard wide camera, which would pixel bin when in low light situations to produce a 12 megapixel photo. The camera would reportedly be capable of shooting 8K video, at least on the Pro models, and seeing as the 48 megapixel sensor would be larger than the sensors in the iPhone 13 lineup, we can expect a bigger camera bump as well, and an overall chunkier iPhone. The front-facing camera on the iPhone 14 series will gain autofocus capabilities and a wider aperture going from f2.2 to f1.9, meaning more bokeh or background blur. And seeing as the front-facing camera is what's mostly used for selfies, video calls, TikToks, and so on and so forth, this will be a very welcome addition. However, I don't think Apple should package this as some new gimmicky camera feature or something like that. Oh boy, I can even think of it now. Introducing the new cinematic selfie video mode, or whatever they choose to call it. I mean, I'm not hating. I think cinematic mode on the iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max was pretty good, but it only works in specific conditions with optimal lighting and so on and so forth. A lot of people don't even bother using it at risk of not being in focus. Now, them doing the same thing with the selfie camera aperture improvement doesn't really make a lot of sense. And just to prove that to you, who remembers what slofies are? Exactly. So for the last couple of years, there have been two main ways to charge your iPhone. You could either use a wireless charger or plug it in using the Lightning port. Well, that may just be about to change, as the EU have dropped a mandate demanding a single charging standard in phones all across Europe, meaning that Apple is definitely going to switch to USB-C, right? Well, not exactly, because seeing how stubborn they've been about keeping the Lightning port over the years, it would not be out of place to see the iPhone 14 lineup come with the Lightning port still, or maybe even a MagSafe port on the iPhones. Who knows? But it seems like this might be the year where Apple finally switches to USB-C. And it only makes sense because imagine you just finished recording a 10 gigabyte large ProRes video on your iPhone and you need to transfer it to your Mac for editing. What are you going to use? The Lightning ports? AirDrop? USB-C offers better transfer speeds and would reduce the need for extra cables, as you could just use your MacBook charger to charge your iPhone and your iPad. But I doubt Apple is too happy about that because, you know, chargers are accessories and the more they can sell, the better it is for business. But anyway, I guess we'll find out in a couple of weeks, right? Apple generally holds its annual event to announce the new iPhone models on the first or second Tuesday of September. That would be September 6th or September 13th this year. But seeing as Labor Day is September 5th in the United States, the most likely date for a keynote this year is September 13th, according to 9to5mac.com. Anyway, let me know what you think about the iPhone 14 series. Are you excited? Are you gonna get one? Tell me in the comment section right below the like button. And if you enjoyed this video, then you can check out my video on why you should ignore the benchmarks on the M2 MacBook Air. But before you go there, subscribe to the channel.